We've spent years romanticizing the grind of content creation, acting as if writing a LinkedIn post is some grand spiritual quest that requires us to sacrifice our weekends. It's a noble sentiment, but from a logistical standpoint, it's a bit ridiculous. Think about the actual math. You spend 4 hours crafting a thread that has a shelf life of about 90 minutes before the algorithm moves on. That's not a career, it's an efficiency crisis. Most creators are stuck in a loop of being perpetually behind, trying to outwork a feed that never sleeps. The reality is that content creation has shifted from a creative craft into a logistics problem. If you're still hand polishing every single caption yourself, you aren't really a creator, you're the bottleneck in your own production line.
The goal isn't to hustle harder until you burn out. It's to change your role. AI isn't here to replace your perspective, it's here to handle the scale. It's the difference between doing all the heavy lifting yourself and simply designing the system that does it for you. At AutoBiz AI, we've realized the only way to stay relevant is to stop being the manual labor and start being the architect. We've automated the repetitive parts of the process, which leaves the human with only one real responsibility: providing the high-grade raw material that makes the whole system work. And that shift starts with the seed. Most content calendars are built on the optimistic assumption that you can summon 30 distinct strokes of genius every month.
It's a strategy that relies heavily on hope. And hope is a mediocre project management tool. Staring at a blank cursor and waiting for inspiration isn't creating. It's just a very slow way to develop a caffeine dependency. The truth is, you don't need 30 ideas. A seed isn't an abstract concept. It's a 10-minute voice memo of you deconstructing an industry problem, or a single long-form article you've already written. The format is secondary to the density of the information. The irony of modern AI is that while it can process a library in seconds, it is remarkably bad at guessing what you actually think. If you give it a generic prompt, it gives you back a lukewarm, generic response.
But when you feed it a seed packed with your specific logic and actual voice, the machine stops guessing. You aren't asking it to be brilliant on your behalf. You're giving it the blueprints to follow. In this workflow, the initial input is the most valuable part of the chain. If the seed is shallow, the resulting content is transparent. But if the seed is dense, the system can find 30 different angles to tell your story without ever sounding like a chatbot having a midlife crisis. However, raw thoughts are just raw material. To keep the machine from defaulting to corporate speak, we have to translate this density into a structure the AI can actually navigate: the brand brain. This brand brain is the antidote to the robot voice. People often complain about AI sounding mechanical, but the truth is, it only sounds like a machine when it's given the personality of a blank sheet of paper. If you don't provide a structural blueprint, the model defaults to its factory setting, a nervous corporate intern desperately trying not to offend anyone. Within the AutoBiz framework, we solve this through a simple philosophy: system over effort. This begins with a style injection. Instead of asking the AI to be witty or professional, adjectives that mean nothing to a math model, you feed it a curated dataset of your actual work, the emails that converted, and the posts that resonated. You're providing the machine with specific linguistic constraints, so it replicates your logic rather than just your vocabulary. Technically, this is managed through the system prompt and temperature settings. The system prompt is your ground law: no cliches, short sentences, and never use the word delve. The temperature is your volatility dial. Setting it to 0.2 gives you surgical consistency. Cranking it to 0.8 allows for the creative risks that make writing feel human. By this point, you've stopped being a manual writer and started acting as a creative director. You've built a reliable engine that speaks your language. Now that the voice is locked in, we move into the expansion matrix, the logic of translating one core thought into the specific languages of different platforms. The problem is, most creators approach this expansion with zero nuance. They take a 20-minute video, hack it into 3 random segments, and act surprised when the engagement metrics look like a flatline. This is the copy-paste fallacy, the assumption that what works in a long-form lecture will somehow flourish in a 10-second loop. In this firm, we treat platforms as different environments with their own unwritten laws.
You wouldn't submit a blueprint for a skyscraper to a committee looking for a cottage. We are not repurposing, a term that implies you're dressing up trash for a second date. We are reimagining.
One high-signal master transcript, we execute an atomic breakdown. 5x threads engineered to spark a conversation. 3 LinkedIn narratives for the thought leadership crowd, and 1 deep dive newsletter for those rare souls who still have an attention span. Then, we look for the micro narratives, extracting 21 distinct scripts for shorts or TikToks, each testing a specific hook. Most creators spend 40 hours a week trying to summon 30 original ideas from the void. We take one substantial thought and give it 30 lives. It's about giving the algorithm exactly what it craves, without you having to manually re-explain yourself until you lose your mind. However, once you automate 30 pieces of output, quality control becomes the primary concern.
If you let the machine run entirely on its own, it will eventually hallucinate a load-bearing wall where one doesn't exist. The question isn't whether you trust the AI to be creative, it's whether you trust it to stay grounded. Even when it stays accurate, raw AI output often has a specific kind of corporate nothingness to it. It's grammatically perfect, structurally sound, and entirely forgettable. To fix this, we don't just edit. We use a second AI instance as a professional hater. You take that first draft, drop it into a new session, and give it a very specific job description. This text was written by an AI. It is full of predictable patterns.
Find the 3 most boring sections and rewrite them to be sharper. There is a certain architectural joy in watching 2 algorithms bicker over the placement of an adjective. It's a digital critique session that's more rigorous than any peer review and far less taxing on your own sanity. The machine is essentially proofreading its own homework while you pour a coffee. But this isn't set it and forget it. You still have to step in for the 5-minute final polish. This isn't a grueling rewrite. It's more like a gallery opening where you, the curator, adjust one last frame. You're looking for the things a math model can't possibly know, that specific client anecdote, the internal joke, or the nuance of a market shift that happened this morning.
This is the system-first manifesto. It's less about manual labor and more about supervising a series of high-fidelity loops. When the system handles its own quality control, you've reached the tipping point. You aren't just the person producing the content anymore. You're the one designing the machine that makes it. But that shift in role is exactly what scares our friend, the manual martyr. You know the one, the person who wears burnout like a designer suit. They're usually the first to tell you that a system like this kills the soul of the work. But let's be honest, there is no soul in resizing a thumbnail or spending 3 hours trying to remember if you used a colon or a semicolon in a LinkedIn hook. That's not art, it's just high-end clerical work.
The real problem with reclaiming 20 hours a week is that you're left with the one thing most creators are trying to avoid: the silence of your own thoughts. Efficiency is actually quite uncomfortable because it removes the "I'm too busy" excuse for being mediocre. When the machine handles the heavy lifting, you're forced to provide the only thing it can't: your specific perspective, the part that comes from actually having a life outside of a browser tab. This extra headspace is where you stop being a content technician and start being a strategist. You aren't just filling boxes in a content calendar anymore. You're finally looking at the big picture, spotting the patterns and deciding which stories are actually worth telling.
The system handles the logistics, but you're the one deciding if the message has any teeth. It's a shift in identity. You're moving out of the engine room and onto the bridge. And sure, the person still scrubbing the deck might think you're cheating because you aren't covered in soot. But the goal was never to see who could work the hardest for the sake of working. The goal is to make sure that when you finally speak, you actually have something to say. And that's the system in action. We've gone from a single thought to 30 pieces of content by moving through the brain, the matrix, and the loop. It's a closed system that scales your perspective without the manual overhead.
This is how we move past that nobility we've attached to the struggle. This idea that if you aren't squinting at a screen for 8 hours, you haven't really earned your output. But while some are still treating a social media caption like a hand-carved piece of furniture, you're just finished.
It's not that you're avoiding the work. You've just decided that your time is worth more than the manual labor of the execution. The reality is that the internet doesn't reward you for how much you suffered during the process. It only cares if the final result is useful. Whether you spent 3 days bleeding over the keyboard or 10 minutes managing a workflow, the audience receives the same value. One of those options just leaves you with enough energy to actually think about your next move. This is the AutoBiz AI standard. We use systems so we can stop acting like components in the machine. The era of the digital blacksmith is officially over. You have the blueprint. Now, go use it.